Schuster out. Hello?
What's up?
Hello? I'm just saying, is it working?
Listening to you?
Yeah. Am I talking? Oh, wait, it's behind.
Yeah.
I'm so annoying. Oh, it's working. Sorry, turn it
All right.
Hi, Joe.
What's up, man?
No Isaac today. I almost said Lucas. No Isaac today. He is out and about doing his stuff. So it's you and I.
All right.
What are we going to talk about? It's just you and I. It's kind of weird not having Isaac here. I'm a little nervous.
Well, let me first welcome everybody who's watching and listening out there. This is Youngstown's Talk Channel. And if you want to get on the program and, I don't know, annoy us a little bit, 330-595-1600. We'll also read your comments in the chat, so make sure you participate in today's show. So you mentioned roundabouts, right?
Austintown. I'm coming for Austintown.
All right, bring it.
I've given Austintown some grief.
Okay.
Because there is a new roundabout going in at 46 and New Road.
Okay.
You know where that is?
Yeah.
46 and New. There's like a bank right there and that kind of stuff. The government, state of Ohio, has granted them, they did a study, like a 3-year study, and said, hey, we're going to give you the money and we're going to put a roundabout in there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a group of citizens fighting against the roundabout, saying it shouldn't go there, saying we don't want it there, saying it's useless there, saying there's other places it could go and should go. I don't understand why people don't like roundabouts. Do you like roundabouts?
I love roundabouts.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just me. Like, I love them. I have been... So in Poland, we had one at 5 Points put in, which you live kind of close there. It's the best thing ever.
Absolutely.
There was one at Matthews Road put in. Just Matthews Road, kind of over heading towards Boardman there. Fantastic. North Lima, what is that? It's South Avenue Extension, I believe, on the way to like Shealy's.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Speeds everything up. So why are people fighting it? I don't understand. I need somebody to tell me why you don't like roundabouts. Call in and tell me why. Fight with me. Argue with me. I need to know why. Like, all the studies say they're better. They do like 3 years of research, and yet there's people showing up these meetings saying, we don't want a roundabout in here. This is a stupid spot. I don't agree. Like, is it because you don't know? Is it because you need me to help you explain how they work? Like, what's the point? That's my problem.
All right.
Drives me freaking crazy.
Now, the one in 46 in Niles, where they cross traffic and weird lane.
Is that the diamond, the converging diamond, or whatever it says? Okay.
Yeah. That shit is confusing. I can see.
I've never gone through that one.
Okay. So I actually interviewed a transportation engineer.
Is it new? Is it in now or no? It's going.
I think it's still there's parts of it that's active. I don't know if it's completed or not, but I talked to a guy that did part of the studies on these things. And mathematically, it is an improvement. I think the problem is people get confused when it's not a stop sign or traffic light. And if they have to do something, even our roundabouts, like they get a little confused and don't know what to do. You're supposed to enter the roundabout with motion, right? You're not supposed to come to a complete stop.
So let's picture this in our heads here. We're thinking about this together. And again, call in and fight with me, please. If you don't want a roundabout, I'll be nice. Oh, we lost them.
What?
Oh, are you typing? We got to multitask because you can't work the normal thing.
Well, I'm going to look at the traffic pattern.
All right. So let's think about this. So you have a circle. You have, let's say, just a normal 4-way roundabout. Is that fair? Normal 4-way roundabout. You approach. There is a yield. Are they seeing this?
No.
Okay. Yeah. There is a yield sign, and you're going to go to the right. So you have to yield like you're approaching, like on a highway, right?
Right.
So you have to, if there's no cars coming, you just keep driving. Reduce speed, keep driving, look to the left, and then exit where you want to get off.
Right.
That's simple. If you're approaching and a car's coming that way, you should stop until it goes by,
right,
and then yield in. If there's more cars coming, you have to stop like a regular stop sign, right? Until all the cars are gone, and then you just work your way in. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How hard is that? Why is there a problem?
But it's hard to get your brain to wrap around that somehow crossing traffic twice is easier than before.
What the hell is that?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, wait. That is not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They can't see that.
No, they can't see it.
Dude, okay, what is that? Can we put that up there? Is there a way to screen share that? Hold on, we're gonna. I think you can, dude. You guys gotta see this. What the hell is that? Wait, that's what's going into Niles?
Yes.
Okay, I have a problem with that.
All right.
Yeah, share screen. Niles traffic. Niles diamond traffic. Nope. Nope. That one and the first one, I think, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
So
dude.
Yeah. So this is unimpeded. You get off, right?
Okay.
And then if you're going straight, you cross the other traffic, go across, then cross it back on the other side.
Okay, but wait. Yeah. You don't stop anywhere in there.
There's a stoplight here and a stoplight here.
It's a stoplight or a yield?
Looks like a stoplight.
Why would you do that? What's the point of? Oh, because then
this goes on because there's more cars that dump onto the freeway, and it allows them to go through one light and get right on the highway, and so your highway traffic gets sped up. But your cross traffic, now you have 2 stops between those.
Dude, wait, why is that? Okay, that is not. So you're gonna wait, can you pull it back up? Okay, so let's pretend for a second.
Yes.
We're the red arrow.
Yeah.
So I'm the red arrow at the bottom right. Okay. Yep. I'm not getting on the highway. I want to get to the other side of the highway.
Right. So I'm
gonna drive here. I'm gonna stop maybe at that light.
Right.
So then the other cars can keep going.
Right.
Stop, drive, might have to stop again.
And then proceed.
Why? So it's slowing down the north-south traffic, speeding up the traffic getting onto the highway.
Yes.
That makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense if you break it down in your head. Because you're going to have cars getting onto the highway going both directions versus like, I'm thinking about, what is that? Over by like, where were they putting that in Niles?
46 and 82.
46 and 82.
Yeah, so this would be the 82 going across. Right?
That's a terrible intersection.
Well, I can, yeah, it definitely is. Okay. Now, the only problem I see is if let's just say you're getting on 82 and you're going this way, but the traffic is backed up at this light because people are waiting to go straight, it then removes the advantage because now you got to stop here, wait in traffic, wait for this light to turn, and then jump on.
Left.
I don't think it improves anything in that scenario.
Because it's that double lane is all going north.
Yep.
Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's crazy. That's the converging diamond.
Yeah. And so, but I talked to somebody and they said on a spreadsheet, it speeds things up on the aggregate. You have instances where it's worse, but on the aggregate,
but I can see how when they're all going onto the highway, it makes sense. But like you said, it's still going to back up something.
Yeah, think about it like an event like November Rain out at the mall, where you just get huge amounts of traffic going through that intersection. It's going to be backed up through 2 lights, which takes away that advantage.
But my question is,
is
it better than what would be there currently? Supposedly on paper, yes.
Yeah, it's still 2 traffic lights. They just don't cross patterns.
Wow. Okay. Well, you just totally threw my. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I throw out a freaking normal 4-way stop. You drop in a converging diamond or whatever the hell that was. That's freaking crazy. Josh Bader says it will be backed up no matter what. They have a light once you enter the freeway by the Hope Center. Then going into Howland is a 1-lane road. I don't know what he's talking about there. I'm not over there very much, to be honest with you.
And Sue says I cross over 6 lane of traffic on the George Washington Bridge. Nothing bothers me after that.
That'd be terrible. I went to college over by Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's a freaking nightmare too. You ever try and drive through Pittsburgh, the under bridges and
where they give you like 1 second to go across 3 lanes of traffic?
Brutal too. So, but I'm just telling you, the new road 46 regular roundabout. Just embrace it, people. Like stop fighting it. Stop arguing about it because it's gonna be better. I like every regular roundabout, not that crap, I have ever seen is better. Is that fair? I mean, you're gonna have your idiots that stop. Oh, somebody's here.
Yeah. All right, caller, are you on there?
Yeah, I'm gone for 1 day, and you guys are talking like, "Hey, Isaac's not coming today. Let's talk about traffic flow."
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about traffic flow? I'm gone. Traffic. That's the topic. Unbelievable. You know what they say?
Luke obviously got pissed off in traffic, and now he wants to bring up his grievance here.
I'm bringing my grievance up because people are whining on Facebook about that roundabout going on in Austintown again, Isaac.
Oh, it's old people that just don't. People fear what they don't understand, and they're just scared that they're not going to know how to operate in a freaking roundabout. Don't worry, there's going to be people like me who understand that a yield sign does not mean stop in an empty roundabout because that causes accidents.
I have been in a car with Isaac when somebody stops at 5 points.
Oh, dude.
Somebody stops at 5 points with no cars coming. He will lay on his horn the entire time.
The entire time. The entire circle. The entire time I'm in that circle behind that person. I will ride their ass and honk on the horn and scream with the windows down. You do not stop. A yield sign does not mean stop. It means yield to oncoming traffic. Like, people need to learn that. It is the same thing. What people don't understand, a yield sign is the same thing as when you are merging into a highway. If there's a yield sign when you're merging into a highway, it's the exact same thing. You do not stop unless you absolutely have to. You keep going. If there's no cars in that traffic circle, you keep moving. I can't stand when people do that.
Sue agrees with you. Isaac is right. People fear what they don't understand. That's 100% it. I truly believe these people don't want a roundabout because they don't understand it. It has nothing to do.
And then they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to operate in it. So nobody's going to know how to operate in it. And since I don't understand it, it's dumb because it's just dumb and I won't know how to do it. It'll be bad.
The excuses I'm seeing is that you don't need one there, which I have a study that says you do. You're wasting taxpayer money. But the problem is it's state money. If you don't use it there, they're going to take that money somewhere else and put a roundabout somewhere else. It's going to slow traffic down while they're building it. It's like it's just all these excuses with no. And the thing, if you have an argument to something, bring facts. Don't bring opinions. If that makes sense. Like if you want to prove something wrong,
like
go ahead, Isaac.
Right, 100%. No, I get that it's going to slow stuff down when you're building it, but at the same time, it's like they're putting 4 lanes on Western Reserve going all the way from Boardman to Canfield. Right now, it's hell on earth. Because I drive it every day. It's absolute hell on earth. But once there's 2 lanes on each side on Western Reserve, the amount of traffic that's going to pull off of 224, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be incredible. It's going to be so good. That excuse only gets you so far.
How far is that? Do you know?
From 680 all the way down. They've got the section between Market Street and 680 on Western Reserve already underway.
Well, I know that. I mean, I drive. That is Isaac's right. That's a freaking nightmare. Yeah. But so it's going from 680
it's a shit show.
All the way to Glenwood, 2-lane, or all the way to.
I think it's all the way to Canfield, right, Isaac?
It's right now they're working in between like Market Street and when you drop down into like where
Glenwood,
where Milk Creek is, and there's like Drake's Landing.
Glenwood.
They're not there yet. I don't know how far they're going, but it's going to be beautiful when it's done because I mean it's opening up.
Are they really?
There's not going to be nearly as much traffic.
I can see them going till down where that Tippecanoe, whatever that
Tippecanoe. Tippecanoe returns to the right. Hey,
Jeff, Tippy. That would be great, man. That'd be great.
Well, they need to because 224 is a freaking nightmare.
Yes, it is.
You know what you need to do? Put a diverging diamond on 224 and Market Street.
Oh my goodness,
that's what we need to do. A diverging diamond right there. What do you think, Isaac?
I think we do like 6-lane road on 224. I think we just keep expanding the lanes out so that it's just a giant, or we double-decker highway 224.
I think that what they've talked about doing before, and this is a fact. They talked about doing like bridges by like 7 and 224 route set, like bridges over, so you don't stop and you go underneath and like get off like off ramps and stuff to keep traffic traffic moving.
And I still blame it. The blame falls on Poland and Canfield because Poland and Canfield are too strict to have businesses that everybody wants to go to. If Poland was cooler with attracting more businesses and Canfield was cooler with attracting more businesses, they would have done that 30 years ago. Everybody wouldn't have to go to Boardman to do everything.
No,
that's what's happened.
It's not attracting new businesses. They don't want big businesses there is the issue. They
correct.
Well, I mean, Canfield tries a little harder than, or lets it go a little bit more than Poland. Poland Village wants nothing there. I mean, let's be totally honest. They don't want any sort of.
They want to be a retirement community.
When they put that Walgreens in, I heard somebody's telling me they had literally had people like screaming and yelling at village council trying to stop Walgreens from going in. Like that's how.
Yeah.
They
were up in arms about an Aldi because Aldi is for the poor.
Did you know that?
I did not.
We had people in Poland fighting to have not put Aldi's in the township because they said they didn't want that type of store there. I can't stand people. I just can't.
Aldi's attracts the poor people. Like guys, we don't like deals. We don't like cheaper options. Is that what we're saying now? Cheaper options attracts the poor. That's the argument we're making.
I'll tell you what.
That makes sense.
How about on Tuesday next week, Isaac? Why don't we talk about with Poland? Why don't we talk about the affordable housing that place wanted to put in some of the comments we got from some of the Poland people on that? You want to talk about Poland and the affordable housing?
It's just totally like Poland lives in their own bubble and they think they just don't get out enough. They're like that crazy person that doesn't get out enough. And then they have all these ridiculous claims because they just don't understand how the world works. Like they just need to travel, I think.
No, we'll save it for Tuesday because I did a poll, just a little teaser for next Tuesday. There was a affordable housing wanted to go in off of 224. It was going to be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. And there was a post made. It wasn't even close to happening. They were just doing like an investigation. These people in Poland. Now, not all the people. I'm from Poland. I mean, I live in Poland. A lot of people in Poland. We don't want those types of houses here. We don't want those types of people here. We don't want those types of kids in our schools. These were the comments people were making. I flipped. So, and then I had people, I was saying, this is why we the people of Poland have a reputation. And I had people saying, we don't have a reputation in Poland. What are you talking about? And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, this guy was dead serious. He said, we don't have a reputation. People love us in Poland. I'm like, are you like, I thought he was joking. He's dead serious. So I did a poll to all of our Facebook groups. What's your thoughts on Poland? You should have seen some of the freaking responses. Stuck up.
What we should do is we should get mics and we should go like walk the streets of Austin town, right? So like neighboring communities, go walk the streets of Austin town, go walk the streets of like Liberty and Canfield and South Range and like all the neighboring communities and ask them how they feel about Poland and just like random people on the street.
Oh, you know what they're going to say. And some of it is envy because it is a nice town. It is a higher income town. I mean, it is. Right. I mean, that's just, but a lot of it is true where they're saying there are racists that live there. There are people who are uppity. There are people who don't want other people moving into town. I'm pretty sure a lot of Poland doesn't like me living in town, and just because I'm not from there. You know what I mean?
And in no way, shape, or form, are we saying that all people from Poland are racist and bigots. That's not true. There are plenty of wonderful people living in Poland that are great, but it is a very higher income, uppity community. It just is what it is, and it has that reputation within all of the bordering towns. It always has.
Right.
And probably always
fair though. So do our neighbors down in Canfield too, though.
For sure. So. The best thing I've ever seen is that map that shows all the different communities, and you have Poland and Canfield on the opposite ends of 224, and it's Canfield. The details of Canfield. It says Canfield's very wealthy. Think they're richer than Poland. They're not. So I still think Poland has more wealth than Canfield does, but I think Canfield has better schools.
I'm not sure that one. Justin says you have to go backwards to go forwards. He's talking about the right. You're going to get worse before it gets better. Poland is the Eagleton of parks and recreation comedy.
Yes, correct. Eagles, 100%.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot, caller.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Just hang up on Isaac. Oh,
it's his day off. Why is he getting pissed off? And
he like called in here all pissy.
He did. Yeah.
Good Lord, he like attacked me for attacks us and then starts yelling at Poland.
It is weird the topics that cause the most people to get fired up and pissed off. You'd think roundabouts would be pretty boring.
No.
People go off.
No. There was a post yesterday. Do you own pets? Do you have pets?
No.
You don't seem like a pet type of guy. Do you ever have dogs?
Oh yeah, when I was younger.
You never had dogs now though.
Too much responsibility.
Too much responsibility. Cats?
Same thing.
Cats are kind of easy. There was a post yesterday. A lady left a dog, or somebody left a dog in a car yesterday. And it turned into the biggest fight ever. Was it too hot to have a dog? Was it too hot to have a dog in a car yesterday?
I don't think so.
I don't know either. But it was on everything Austintown. It turned into the biggest fight ever. Like there were people mother effing each other. They were screamed like, don't leave a car there. They're like, it's 60 degrees outside. The dog's fine. Like it was, I don't even know what the answer was. But you talk about people getting fired up about stuff. Now, granted, I know I love animals. I like animals more than people. But was it, in the comments, was it too hot to have a dog in a car yesterday? I don't know.
I think people take their pets out of their homes way too often. I think keep them at home. Don't take them out to the restaurant with you. Don't bring them into the grocery store with you. Keep that crap at home.
Yeah.
For the rest of us who just don't want to be around it.
That's fair too. I agree with that. I mean, if you're going on a hike or something, that's fine.
Yeah, right.
Park,
exactly.
Right? Bring your
Go
dog
to the park. They're getting something out of it.
Right.
But if they're just in the car, I mean, how is that better than being at home where they have their stuff? Like that's not fair to the
Maybe
pet.
they're doing it for selfish reasons. Like they just want to bring the dog with them so they're not lonely. They have somebody to talk to. I had a dog. I would bring the dog to the park, fishing with me. That's about it. And the vet. Other than that, just nice.
Those are completely reasonable.
Yeah.
But just to take it around with you, and
it's
just a pain.
I agree. And then you get into the whole service animal thing. You know, people
freaking hate it.
Do you really?
Freaking hate
airplanes and stuff?
Yes.
Do you really?
Because it's someone who just likes their dog and they want to have an excuse to bring it everywhere they go. So I'm trying to eat. My wife has allergies. There's snot running down her nose because you wanted to bring your dog out there as a support creature.
Unless it's like I was watching something where they have like these dogs that pick up like you're gonna have like a seizure or something like that. I think that's cool. That's good. Seeing eye dogs. Bring it, right? But I totally like a service animal gerbil or something like that. Like I need to pet it because it's, you know what I mean? 100%. Keep your pet. Look, everyone has a service animal.
Right.
Now. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And so like if you saw one every month or so, then you can tolerate it. I don't like it's there, but it's obviously serving some purpose for it. It's medical. I'll tolerate it while I'm eating my meal. But if they're everywhere, then you know that everybody's getting a free pass to bring their favorite pet out.
But the problem is I don't think you can do anything to stop it.
You can't.
Right? Because it's a medical thing.
Yeah. And so like if they took a part of the restaurant, maybe like pushed all those people off to the side, like the smoking section, like just maybe the animals are on that side and give you the option. But they force it on everybody, and I just don't think that's fair to the rest of us.
We were at a restaurant the other day. I swear to God, talking about like talking about animals. I noticed we went into this restaurant and we sit down, and it was like me and my boys and Maggie, we're all there. We were in a section, it was with all the kids. And I swear to God, this restaurant was putting all the kids in one section. Have you ever seen it?
Do. Yes.
Right. It was 100% true. I'm like, Maggie, look around. I was like, it's all kids. And then you look over, it's like a quiet little nice section over here with like Ben's hitting camera with like a freaking paper.
Exactly. That is intelligent. Absolutely.
The same concept.
Yeah.
Bringing my animals out to eat.
That's consideration. Like what if I was like, I have PTSD and I have to listen to Metallica at full volume.
Right.
Are you going to let me come into the restaurant, sit up next to you, and just jam down Sandman?
Right?
You'd have to because it's a medical thing. You just have to tolerate me.
Wow.
And it's just not fair.
I agree.
And another one is like you Uber and Lyft, right?
Okay.
If you have a service vehicle, the Uber and Lyft people have to let you bring your dog in their car. So all of the hair and allergens and dirtiness.
So if I'm allergic to cats or dogs or whatever, and then I get in there after. Or if you're an Uber driver.
You cannot deny them a ride, even if you're allergic.
Wow.
So you just kill the next driver, the next
the driver or your driver.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not fair. And again, we would tolerate it if it wasn't so heavily exploited like it is.
Good question. You should have invited her with us today.
We could. Yeah.
What the heck? Okay, here. I've seen local businesses. Is it Kellen? Kellen. That's a cool name. Kellen Fliss.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome name, Kellen Fliss.
It's her stage name.
Is that that's not her real name?
Her name is Margaret Bartholomew.
We just gave away her real name.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, it's not Margaret Bartholomew. Margaret Bartholomew says, I've seen local businesses that have signs posted that pets are allowed and welcome. If a dog bites a customer, is the business responsible? All right, thank you, Margaret.
It is your responsibility when you bring a pet out with you. Whatever that pet does is on you, and the customer is responsible.
Even if it's in my business? If I'm the business and I say, hey, pets are allowed and welcome, that dog goes in there and then bites somebody, it's the owner's responsibility.
Yeah.
I would think. Right?
The person's responsibility. You're not going to offload another stupid responsibility and liability onto a business.
If I'm a sue happy person, though, I'm suing you, the dog owner, and I'm suing the business.
Might as well.
I mean, I'm suing everybody.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Fun facts. I don't know if I ever told you. You ever hear the story? I don't know if you can see them. You see the scars, other than my tattoos. I have like bite marks. I don't know if you can see them. My uncle had a German Shepherd, talking about getting bit by dogs, that he rescued, and it had bit people, and it seemed better, right? And we were over at his house. Now my Cameron, my 8-year-old at the time, was there, okay, and playing with this dog. Dog was totally seemed fine, right? It was still kind of sketchy. We're keeping an eye on it, right? We're in the backyard. I look out of nowhere and I see this German Shepherd biting his coat, right? Just biting him and like not attacking him, but biting him. And then all of a sudden I see it clamp down like on his like heavy coat. I run over, my uncle run over. I'm going to tell you what, dogs are so much stronger than you think.
Yes.
I was amazed. I jump on this German Shepherd. Okay. He's attacking my kid at this point. Never, like, Cameron was finding he had a bite mark here. Wrap my arms around him. And I'm a pretty big guy, right? Trying to get this dog would not let go. I mean, everything I got, start punching this thing, trying to get him to let loose. This dog turns on me, bites me twice, here and here. Uncle grabs him. And I mean, we're talking chomps, like would not let go. You can see it close. Uncle grabs him, bites my uncle, who owns the dog. I mean, the dog had to be put down.
For sure.
But I'm telling you what, if a dog like that, if a big dog like that attacks and you can't, you're in trouble. We were so lucky it didn't like seriously put Cameron in the hospital or even kill him. Like, it was that bad. And it's like, you're going to bring dogs like that into restaurants and around people. I'm still skittish around German Shepherds to this day. And it was like 2 years ago. I mean, I like when a German Shepherd's like, I'm walking in Mill Creek Park, I'm like, oh yeah, we're good. So you're bringing those dogs in, you better make sure it's trained and you better make sure it's safe. Because, man, I'm telling you, and you don't know these freaking people. They might be bringing a freaking murder dog in to these restaurants. Oh, no thanks.
Yeah. Nope. And even the breeds that are known to, German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, Rottweilers, those ferocious breeds. You bring that out in public and that's on you. You better go into training and restraints and really know how to handle that dog.
Yeah.
Or else, I'm good.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to not to cut you off. Assumed responsibility by business owner for allowing the risk. Boy, we need Beatrice on here. Joe, why don't you call him up? You know Beatrice?
I don't know his number.
Don't tell him I'm here and he might answer our question. Assumed response. That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like, it's like if you let somebody in your business and have a sign up, I'm suing the business too. I'm suing everybody. The person sitting next to me.
Well, that's the best way to get businesses to say no more animals in the shop.
Except for service animals. Can you refuse?
You can't. You cannot. It's like a medical device. If I'm like, no pacemakers in here, dude.
You can't do it.
No, it's a protected
and you can't even ask, right? Like, if I show up with my Chihuahua and I'm like, it's a service dog. They can't question it, right?
No, they can't. It's illegal to question it.
Wow.
And that's why if I brought in my pet, pit viper, right? Because that's my support animal. Right. People might
like in one of the baskets in like a little
a cobra, but
okay, same concept.
Same deal. So I'm sitting there chilling with my he's fine. Don't pet him. He's my service animal. People get the clue that, that's not fair to me.
Wow. Kellen says a lot of young couples seem to be into Belgian Malinois. They are used in military and are working dogs for a reason. It's crazy to have them as pets unless you can train and be with them all the time. Yeah, there's some crazy freaking dogs too. Now, and here's the thing. Some dogs, I think, get bad raps. Okay. I have known pit bulls where my buddy had pit bulls in college. And I'm like, I've never met a pit bull. And I'm like, I'm like, you hear all these bad, terrible rumors about these pit bulls. This thing was she had two of them, two girls. I was like, I think we went out that night and then we came back and I was like sleeping on the floor and I woke up on the floor like in a sleeping bag. Okay. And again, I didn't really get close to the dogs the night before I wake up. There's these two pit bulls like laying next to me. I'm like, oh my God, they were like the nicest dogs ever. I think it has to do with like the dog itself, the people who raise him. But I still think there is some sort of caution with the types of breeds of dogs. Is that fair? I don't know. If you're a dog person watching, call us. Am I wrong? Like, because some people like defend these dogs, like the German Shepherds and that kind of stuff. But I think you still have to be careful.
Yeah, it's still a dangerous weapon,
right?
Brought into other people. Like,
right?
You can't. Well, like you said, that dog was so strong that you had a try. So think of an old lady bringing a pit bull around. There's no way.
Dead. Yep. Dead. All right. My daughter was on a softball team where one of the coaches always brought their dog. I thought it was the biggest distraction. Then I found out why it was there. The dog could literally smell his daughter's saliva in the outfield and would save her life by alerting her that she was. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Justin. Exactly. Sir, it was amazing that the dog could protect her. I didn't mind the dog after. Yeah, see, and that's what I'm talking. That is fine. It's the people
legitimate
who abuse it.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And the problem is people abuse it. And then everybody has to suffer.
Yeah.
Same thing, like anything in life.
They extended it to people that feel anxious out in public,
right.
And that's pretty much everybody. All I have to do, I mean, it's like, remember you go to a doctor and get a weed permit. Like you could say literally anything and you can get them to deliver you weed. Right. There were doctors that didn't even know you. You just fill out a book, check this box if I get headaches. You get headaches? Oh my goodness. Weed, right. You need some weed.
Right. Yeah. It's the same abuse of everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Good morning.
Hi. I'm just that looks like a bill. Dude, there's a lot of bills in here. I'm sorry.
Look at you.
Sorry, Joe. He handed it to me, Joe, not you. I'm gonna go through Joe's mail online. Sorry. Isaac's not here. I don't have a leash today. All right, let's see here. You are allowed to ask two questions. One is, what service is the dog trained to do? I can't remember the other question you're allowed to ask. Well, that's one then, Patricia, but we'll take it. So what is the service dog trained to do? Relieve my stress.
I'm telling you, that's why. Everybody has social anxiety, and that is one of the service dog ailments to treat. And so everybody can bring their dog with them.
Oh my God. Pit bulls raised from puppies are so sweet. That's what I'm saying. I met some sweet pit bulls, 100%. Wow. What else do we got? Anybody? We're just all over the place. Like, I didn't even think anything to talk about today. We just start going.
Yeah, but you and I jabber like it's no big deal.
We do. What else?
I saw you picking a fight with Ditzler again on the interwebs. What is the origin of this? Why is there such bad blood between the two of you?
Let's set the stage.
Okay.
David Ditzler, for those of you who don't know, was, and I love saying was, a Mahoning County commissioner. He long-term politician.
Right.
Let's see. So what would be the issue with me and him? So I have a problem with these local politicians that feel they're untouchable. I don't think the local news holds any. Luke, is a bit hard to hear. That's the first time I've ever been told that in a million years. Is that better?
Bring it up to your mouth a little bit. That might, yeah.
Is that better?
Isaac had it right. He was like an inch away from me yesterday.
Is that better?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Is that better, Helen? Sorry. I've never been told I'm quiet ever in my entire life. This is the first time ever.
Okay.
So Ditzler, Isaac and I have been known to go at local politicians way more than they're used to when they do stupid stuff. And what had happened was, and I've covered this so many times, there were three Democrats. It was Carol Righetti, David Ditzler, and Trafficani as Mahoning County commissioners. Without a doubt in my mind, they fired a janitor named Ricky Morrison for supporting another political candidate. Carol Rigetti saw him at a revote where she was running for election, sitting by her opposing candidate. Okay. What's his name? Gina DeFabio. She saw him, commented, don't you work for us at the meeting to him. He said, yes, I do. 3 days later, he was fired. Ditzler lied, saying, it wasn't politically motivated. Like, it was literally day. Like, and then I did like a public request on all the docs. You could see him signing in. They denied having a meeting about, like, it was bad. Like, they just lied. I called him on it. I literally called him on it. I said, this is what he did. This is what you did, Ditzler. I made videos on it, and he hated me for it. He absolutely hated me for it. And I will stand by. Isaac and I are one of the reasons he did not get reelected, because we called him on it. The local news, they did articles on it, but they didn't dig in. And when you dug in, that dude is freaking dirty. He is dirty. He fired that guy. And then he also pissed off local. He made everything political party. Like, he did stuff with like some of the local union stuff, just nasty stuff.
Well,
so he paid for it.
Something recent happened?
No, I just shared the memory because I just shared the memory. This is from last year. So what I did was I shared a memory where he called Isaac and I, said he was going to come after us and get us. And then he like accused local companies of being like pedophile. Like, he was just gross. Like, what kind of politician does that? Like, I'm like, dude, seriously? That just shows you what type of person he is. Like, hey, politicians, if you want Isaac and I, the MLO bros, to go away, just ignore us. But they can't, because they're so freaking arrogant. They're so freaking cocky. They can't. Like, ask Nikki Frenchco up there. Remember, she came at us. We made a couple videos, and she's not elected anymore either. So
got some power of persuasion going with you.
I don't know what we have. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like I said, the local news doesn't cover the stuff. They don't go into depth enough. They're afraid to ruffle feathers. Yeah. And that's what we do. So
Patricia says, didn't he also remove his opposition signs?
He did. Yeah. He got caught removing DeFabio's signs, or it was when DeFabio was running against Rigetti. He was out removing his signs, and he made up all these stories. He was caught on video doing it. Like, somebody cell phoned it, and no, the owner told me. And then the owner's like, no, I didn't tell you can remove the signs. So it was just ridiculous.
See, but that's old school politics. Like, when they get militant about elections, set signs on fire. Remember that?
Yes. Oh yeah, dude. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
was that Ruley who did it? What was the sign on fire? Was that Ruley? Who? And then
might have been.
And then the other side said that he did it intentionally or something. Like, he said his own sign. I'm like, oh my God.
It was dramatic.
Yeah.
It's so
slimy. Yeah, I just can't do that. But these local politicians, I think they're so used to just floating by, getting elected. And I know you guys do it, and we do. We bring light to this stuff, and we're talking about it, and it drives them freaking crazy that we're able to talk about it, and we're able to get, and I think there's like, these guys on social media, these stupid guys, they don't think we have any say. But if you look at it, like your numbers, our numbers, we get 5,000-6,000 people watching. You get 10,000 people voting. Like, that's a lot of people that we can influence to say, look, this guy's a scumbag. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't understand, because these positions are not like high positions.
They're not
not a lot of power comes through them, and then they try so hard to win these little pincy elections.
Well, those guys get 100,000 a year.
I did not know that.
The 100,000 for pretty sure
commissioners.
Yeah.
Be shitting me.
No, hold on. Let me look here.
No wonder why they're
how much does
signs on fire
Mahoning County commissioner make? I'm pretty sure.
Denise says Robert Santos caught him removing the sign. So yeah, I mean, if you get I'm assuming you don't work many hours if you're a commissioner or something like that for $100K.
Dude,
that seems ridiculous.
2023-24 Mahoning County commissioner earned an annual salary of $98,563. That's a lot.
I'm running for commissioner. No damn commissioner. Wait, dude,
that's a lot. Wow, these figures are consistent from the data where Ditzler, Carol, and I think they get like they get retirement and they get health benefits.
F this,
dude. Let's see.
Real work sucks.
Do they get health benefits? I think you should run, Joe.
I'm going to.
Do they get health? Let's look. Do they get health benefits?
Politicians who engage in politics as a career do their constituents a disservice. They are to be there used to be a time when politics was synonymous with public service.
Oh, Ditzler's been in politics forever. He was like an Austin town trustee. He was head of the Democratic Party for a while. And then I guarantee he runs again. I guarantee he runs again for that, or he's going to run for trustee. I think he's going to run against Santos, because Santos is a trustee who he hates because Santos was speaking out against him. I 100% think he's going to run against Robert Santos in Austin town, which would be fantastic. So, Stephanie Volpini Hunt is going to run. Stephanie, I will be your marketing campaign manager. I'll be your campaign manager. We will win together 100%. Or can it be your assistant? Is there an assistant commissioner position?
They probably make 100,000. We have a group of 75 people making 100K. We'll be the best run city.
That's tax dollars too.
I know.
They're getting paid $100,000 of tax dollars.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I got to find out what the minimum I have to do the job to claim that money. Like if there's 3 hours required.
Yeah. Well, let's see here.
Like
how often do you work as a commissioner?
Probably your monthly meetings. And when you're campaigning, I bet you that's all that's required.
Mahoning County commissioners typically work full-time, holding regular meetings and overseeing county operations. They usually hold public meetings at least once a week, often on Thursdays, to discuss and approve county business. However, their work extends beyond these meetings as they attend events, work local officials, address constituents. While there is no set clock in, clock out schedule, the role consistent on county affairs. Hold on here.
One term should be enough for anyone. In my opinion, move on to something else or another position of service.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get somebody in here. Hold on. Sorry, keep talking. Stall for a second.
I'm thinking about a full-time position. What I would consider a full-time position. If you have the requirement of showing up for meetings, hosting maybe 2 a week, and that maybe 5-6 hours, maybe. And the rest of your job is going out and going to events and meeting with constituents. That seems like there's some gray area where you could work a real full-time job and get, 3 hours a week and collect 100,000. That's why I consider it to be way too much. I can probably get someone to do that job for less money than 100,000.
100,000, but there's 3 of them. So you're chipping out $300,000 plus benefits. That's
why
crazy.
Is your taxes so high? Exactly.
Dude, right?
Yep.
What else do people make at the county? Let's ask that. Like, what other positions are there? Mahoning County government. Let's see here. Positions, salary,
public information. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can look at
salaries, right?
Yeah. Probably get a county car, right?
So I would assume.
Vehicle.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna try and get. I'll try and get Gino on here. Gino DeFabio will come on and talk to us about it. I'd really like to know. He can defend himself. What? Stephen McGeary. Who's Stephen McGeary? Captain? Must be a cop. Who's Stephen McGeary? 215,000? What is that? Stephen
Dwight said he'll do it for 20K and some health care. That should be somebody's campaign slogan. Vote for me. I'll work it for 20K.
Okay, wait a second.
You get elected.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna look this up. This is openpayrolls.com. You ever hear of it?
Mm-mm.
Openpayrolls.com. Verify you're human. Think so. All right. Stephen McGeary gets paid $215,000. He is a captain. What is he a captain of? Who's Stephen McGeary?
Fire captain, police captain.
215,000? Mahoning County Sheriff's Office gets paid $215,000? What? He retired in 2022. Following his retirement, Gertie was rehired under the department's rehire program, allowing him to office retain experience. So then he gets his retirement plus his severance, plus his earnings, making it total 215.
Holy crap.
215.
That's a good deal.
Dude, that's insane. Now, I mean, cops Ronna Curtis, assistant director, makes 192. Patrick Giannetti, Mahoning County engineer, 162,000. Lieutenant John Boggs of the police department, 160. William Whitaker, superintendent. Dude, this is crazy. Executive director, like, those are some big numbers. And that's all tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
You shop the marketplace and you find those positions and what they do for way cheaper than the public side.
That is freaking crazy. You add all this up. Look at all these look at all these numbers. Like, I don't know if you can see this on my phone. Like, this, go to openpayrolls.com and just scroll through. How much you think a court magistrate, assistant court admin would make?
50,000.
101,000.
Oh my goodness.
Who also happens to be, I believe, a wife of a judge. Magistrate, 100,000. Purchasing director, James Fortunato, 100,000. Wow. George, come on. So actually, the commissioners are like only top 50 in the county.
Mm.
I'm like blown away by this. I've never looked. Managing attorney John Carroll, 94,000, which isn't a lot for an attorney, to be honest with you. Is anybody else like amazed? Kellen says my dad was a magistrate. Absolutely did not make 100,000. That was years ago. Dude, how is this? Dude, we need Elon Musk in here. We need
Doge,
we need a Mahoning County Doge.
Yes.
What the hell? We need a Mahoning County Doge to get in here and clean this up. This is
that would be a good, like, when we get to ballot time and we're pushing on levies and taxes.
Right.
We look through the payrolls and salaries and say, wait a minute, hold on. Maybe we're a little short on cash to do public services because the salaries are a little inflated.
Right. Marty Hume, assistant prosecutor, 121,000. What in God's name? These might be outdated because Paul Gaines is on here. He's not on here. He's retired, I think. 141. Wow. This is crazy. Careful, you might need your own Secret Service. Seriously, I'm going to get capped walking out here.
No, dude, he is my Secret Service.
Right? And
yeah,
we're Joe's Secret Service.
That's right.
But that is crazy. I can't, like, how are we, the people of Mahoning County? This is from 2022, so they're probably higher now, to be honest with you. Wow. I'm blown away. I'm my day's freaking crazy. That just changed my day today. So we have people in Mahoning County, just so we're clear, struggling.
Yeah. We
have people not able to afford eggs, yet all these people in the county are making all that money right over here at the county building are making 100,000 plus.
People that are funding those salaries are making less than the salaries that are being funded
because that is freaking messed up. Wow. Yeah. Chief at the Youngstown Fire Department also simultaneously worked as an RN at St. Elizabeth's 31 hours a week. Seriously? So they're making all that money. Wow. And those salaries are probably before taxes, I would assume.
Makes no difference, though. It's still a cost.
How is that possible? Like, how is that happening, people? How are we allowing this to happen? I'll bet if you went in there, let's say we go to a Mahoning County meeting. Let's say we go to a Mahoning County and say, all these salaries, can you explain this to me? They wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't defend. They would defend like they would. I don't think they would respond. Like, they don't have to respond.
Yeah, well, you go to any municipality that allows them vote themselves raises, and they're all going to be like that. There's not going to be anybody like, hey, we're going to be protective with taxpayer money, make it market value rather than. And honestly, okay, as you can see, let's just say you have a position of mayor and it pays $30,000.
Right.
You get nobody to get on the ballot, so you're like, we got to up the salary to attract people to actually run for this office.
Right.
I can see that, but I have a feeling you lower that and you still get people to run.
Oh, 100%. You get people to run just to do it, right?
As one of the commenters said, as a public service, somebody who's made it in business or whatever doesn't really need a salary.
These guys are doing it for jobs.
And so that's why they would defend against that. And, if you have somebody sitting next to one of your opponents, that represents your buddies not being there as well to vote you for.
Well, that's why. That makes sense why Ditzler was so pissed at us.
Right.
Then.
Absolutely.
So we just cost him $100,000 plus his benefits plus everything else.
Exactly.
Wow, that's good. That makes sense. Why he was pissed and he was threatening us and everything else like that.
But you take money out of the equation, and now that's not a big deal.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense why he hates our guts. And that makes sense why Nikki Frenchco hates our guts, because I wonder how much they make. Trumbull County, she hates our guts too. That makes sense. They hate our guts because we took money out of their pockets.
Yep.
Wow.
Sure. It wasn't about the public service. It was about.
Right. It wasn't about helping people. It wasn't about us taking their power. Well, taking their power away, which is the money then in essence. Wow. And then Rigetti hates us because we took her buddy out of office, which would then therefore help her get reelected, who was helping her take signs down and everything else like that.
Mm-hmm. Politics is jacked up, man. It's just a money grab. It really is.
And this is local. Think about state and think about national. You wonder why people are getting freaking murdered in national politics. It's because think about the amount of money there, where you got freaking companies. Oh my God. This just ruined my day, Joe.
I'm sorry.
It's just so much.
Ruined everything.
No, it's not even that. It's just crazy. Saw today on a news item, school board members may have to declare their political. I saw this too. May have to declare their political party to run for a school board position. There is a bill out there now waiting to pass this. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Why? It's the same as judges.
Right.
Why do judges have to declare their political party? It makes no sense. It should be right down the line, middle ground. We don't want to know if you're a Republican or a Democrat. The argument was, well, we should know everything about them, because if you're a right-leaning or left-leaning judge or school board member, you're going to vote a certain way down the line. That was the argument to it.
Yeah, I think it should be the opposite, where I don't think you should be able to put the party. It's just the name. If you're an informed voter, you can look into it for yourself and see what party they support.
That is true too.
And that way, if I want to vote straight Democrat and I don't know how it's organized on the ballot,
if
I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not filling out. And think about the votes that just go to party, and I didn't even know the freaking candidate.
Do you vote like that?
Party line? Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
I make a valiant effort when I vote. And I have to be one of the only people that do this. Because I will pre-print my ballot, look at each candidate, look at each issue, pick what I agree with. If I can't agree with something, I don't vote on it.
Exactly.
I don't waste a vote. I don't pick I like their name or I recognize their name. I don't do any of that. I literally pick what I like. If I don't agree with something, I won't vote on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think people do that though.
No, most people are like, if it's a D next to the name or an R next to the name, they just vote right down the ballot.
Right. And I also think people get elected because their name familiarity. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like that name looks familiar, so I'm going to vote for it.
Exactly.
Right. Like that's crazy. You definitely vote the candidate, not necessarily to work for schools. This is how our founding fathers did it. Yeah, it's not like that though. People vote, I think especially in our area, at least the older folks vote right down the line.
Yep.
Right down the line. And if you speak against that, like I know my grandparents, Democrat. Yep. That's all they were. And what's funny is most of the kids are Republican.
My kid told me that. He looked up Gen Z statistics and where they vote Democrat. It's 58% Republican in Gen Z.
What's Gen Z? That is after Gen X, right?
Yeah.
So that is 80 to whatever, 90 something.
They're in their teens, early 20s now.
Okay, wait. The Gen X, Gen Z.
Gen Z.
What is Gen? God, what would we do without ChatGPT? Gen Z. Gen Z, 1997 to 2012. Whoa. So 1997 to 2000.
So teens into their mid to late 20s then.
Yeah. So Lucas would actually be, so my 14-year-old would be a Gen 2011. Yeah, it would be a Gen Z.
But if it flips and you got a next generation becoming more Republican, like that's a huge political shift. Huge.
Really? Yep. Interesting. Old people vote straight party. How old are you?
I'm 48, I think.
So you're Gen X.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm like the tail end. I'm 46. So I was like right at the end of Gen X. So she says you definitely vote the candidate. Old people vote straight party. Do you vote straight party, Sue? Because I know all the time you're like, oh, don't call me a boomer, because I always say boomers all the time, and she's always insulted whenever I say boomer. Sue's always like, I'm not a boomer.
Yeah, but like you said, judges having a political persuasion, like when are you, if you're following and interpreting laws, right? Where does your politics come into that?
Oh, it does all the time though.
I know, but still it shouldn't.
The political ads for the judges, did you remember on the radio were like, I'm a Republican and I will, when I go after criminals, I'll be like this Republican and I follow Donald Trump's law. Like those were the ads for local.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane. I was like, why would I care? I want you to interpret the law
exactly
the way it's supposed to be interpreted, not based on your political party.
Yeah. So like, how does the Supreme Court, 9 justices, split on almost every freaking
because
issue?
Some are Republicans and some are Democrats.
And how can you read a document and interpret it and have that much varying degree of interpretation? It blows my mind.
Because of the Republican Democrat, right? Because one was put in by Trump, one was put in by Biden, one was put in by Obama, right? And that's the way it works. It's insane.
It is.
It shouldn't be like that.
Nope.
And the same. And so now we're going to deal with school boards. But I would assume, I'm going to bet, if you look at the school board decisions, I'm going to do that. Go back and look at the school board decisions. Do you think you can figure out which ones are Republicans and which ones are Democrats based on the right?
You can't, yeah.
Right? You'd be able to tell.
Absolutely.
Right? You'd be able to tell which way they're going. All right.
Can I talk about a national issue real quick? I want to see your feelings on this. So Doge making cuts, Department of Education has just got the hatchet. Half of the staffing for the Department of Education.
I saw that.
Gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So people are flipping out, obviously, because they think, obviously when you cut that, you think the kids are going to suffer and education's going to be depleted and whatever. And so I wanted to write it and say that most of the, especially, in Ohio, most of your curriculum and your funding and most of the stuff come from the state and local level. It has nothing to do with the
national, right?
Yeah, for sure. So so the Pell Grants and paying for colleges is what the Department of Education primarily does.
I was just going to do that.
If a university, so like Columbia, has a $14 billion endowment, $14 billion. These are legacy donations and what they collect in tuition. And the federal government sends them $400 million for those grants and whatnot. Why would a university ever come off of their big savings account and spend their own money that they collected instead of what they're collecting from the federal?
Wow.
Why choose the same thing? Almost every university has these big legacy.
So they have. Hold on. Can I do an easy explanation of what the Department of Education does?
Sure.
All right, just for fun. Because again, I mean, I understand what it does, but the Department of Education makes sure schools get funding, students have access to loans and grants, and education policies are fair. It also collects data on schools to improve learning and ensure that all students, including those with disabilities, get equal opportunities. Is that fair? Is that a fair definition?
Yeah.
So is it high school or is it college? It's everything, right? The Department of Education?
The federal Department of Education does guidelines, testing. They make federal rules that they push down to the states to be able to implement. The curriculum's done on the state level.
So the curriculum's done on the state level.
And the funding's on the state.
So what the hell does the federal do? So the federal just...
They basically inflict their will, their political will on the rest of the schools.
Saying if you don't follow this, we're going to cut funding.
And they use money, taxpayer money,
I've
to be able to hold those schools to do certain things. So they give you funding if you do they do what you want.
Wow.
They withhold funding if you don't do what they want.
So then these schools are sitting on these funds. They don't use them because they get government funds.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why not just use your own funds?
Exactly. Yeah. It would. Yeah. This is going to take me on a whole different rant.
I mean, the whole thing of Trump and them getting rid of the Department of Education is to push it onto the state level to do it, as it kind of is now already. Correct?
Yep.
I guess my question would be, how much funding is that going to take away from the states? That's my question, right? Like, how much does the Department of Education at the federal level give to Ohio? How much would they lose? That would be my concern, right? Because we're already struggling state-wise for funding.
All right. Well, if you write that by saying at the same time we were sending this money through federal dollars and then it trickles down to the state, and you cut your taxes, so now you're no longer sending that portion to the federal government, and the state then raises their taxes in proportion to what they need for school funding.
Will they do that, though? That's the question, right?
Well, Ohio is super good with their budgeting, and so I bet you they already have, if they were to lose the federal dollars, I bet you that they could still fund it from the state side.
Right. However, Ohio is currently still illegal since the 90s on the way they fund schools. You know that one, right? Through the tax.
Here we go.
I mean, I'll talk about that one too, because that drives me freaking. We're going to go down to war, but that one drives me crazy. Where you have, I don't know if you guys do this or not, in like the 90s, there was like this Ohio Supreme Court said that you weren't allowed to tax properties for schools, right? In like levies or whatever that is. And they never did anything about it. Like, it's just illegal and they're still doing it. Like, how does that happen? Like, it's illegal and they're not doing anything. And like, oh, well, we'll get to it. Like, how is that possible, Joe? Explain to me.
I don't have an answer.
How, Joe, but how? Like, if I did something illegal, I go to jail.
Let's just say it wasn't schools. Let's just say they changed the law that applied to Luke.
Right.
Right. And then you're like, oh, I know there's a law, but I'm just
going to not do it.
Would there be repercussions? Right. Would there be an enforcement agency that would come and say, dude, you can't do that.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to renew my tags for my truck this year because I got my thing in. I'm not going to redo it because that's the law, right? But I'm not going to renew it. And when they come and they arrest me, when they pull me over for having, I'm going to say, hey, the state of Ohio.
I'm taking the property tax.
Exactly. Right. I mean, she said the whole show in itself, how schools are funded. I mean, I would love to get somebody on here to talk about that. I don't know who you get. Like, do you get a state rep? Like,
we could, yeah.
Like, who do you talk to about that? That's the problem. Like, I don't even know who to go to. Property tax is very unfair. I don't mind paying property tax. I know that sounds insane. Okay. I don't mind paying property tax. Hear me out here, Wayne. I understand it pays for my roads. I understand it pays for police, fire, EMS, schools, right? Okay, but the schools, that's a whole different thing. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the way the money is spent. Obviously, when we go full circle back to the salaries that these people are paying that I just learned about today. I have a problem with that. We need to budget it, obviously. So I think this is almost turning into, I don't want any more property taxes, not because I don't want to pay property taxes. I don't want more property taxes because you are spending my property taxes unwisely. Does that make sense? Right? That's kind of where I'm at now.
Well, we had text on the other morning. It disincentivizes people from doing improvements on their home because it's tied to their total property value.
Right.
And then, so if I want to put an addition on my house, it might add $1,000 more a year to what I pay in property taxes. So then you have houses that are sitting there with improvements not being done. Now, your neighborhood would thank you to increase your property values if there wasn't a tax, coupled to it.
Right.
There's got to be a more fair way of doing it. I agree with you that maybe property taxes are there, but they can't be exploitative.
Which is what they are. This is what Wayne just said. How is it voted for taxation without representation? Well, I mean, I get that. But again, how do you tax people? You need basic services.
You do.
And you need to pay for the basic services.
Flat rate, $500 per property owner, $500 from every person. Big house, small house, doesn't matter, $500. Do improvements, still $500.
$500, or just eliminate property taxes. Go back to the income tax, like we talked about, or not income tax, sales tax.
There you go.
25% sales tax, no matter what. you spend.
Something more fair.
Yeah. Something more fair. That makes sense too. Yeah, right. What happens when all the property values, when the market crashes, which is going to happen? I don't care what anybody says. As a realtor loan officer, it's going to go down. Property values cannot sustain the current way their growth is going. What's going to happen? All the properties or values are going to go down.
Now, how often do they assess property values? Is it like every 4
years?
So they're going to keep the inflated, like when markets were high, they went and reassessed as quick as they can, get you locked into a tax rate at top value.
Yep.
And then they got 4 years of still collecting the inflated value.
You are able to challenge that, though.
Okay.
You can go online on the Mahoning County, Trumbull County Auditors website. You can challenge it if you don't think it's right. And I think you have to get like an appraisal or something like that to prove that it's lower than what it is. When I moved into my house, so my old house, it was like right after the crash, 2010. I bought my house way cheaper than what it was appraised for. Gave them the purchase contract at the auditor site, and they dropped the price down, and my taxes went down.
Oh, like really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
It went down like 6. Yeah, it's definitely possible. You can challenge it because it was like I bought it again. This is like right after the crash. So I bought my house for like $185, and it was valued at like $240. And I think the guy that previously owned my house was in jail, actually. Long story short. Anyways, he was in jail. He got to dump the house. Anyways, he dumped the house for $180. We bought it, and then I turned in the purchase price. They dropped the value down. It was pretty cool. So they can foreclose on your house even if it is paid off if you don't pay your property. Yeah, that is true too.
And that idea that Trump had property taxes, I think it was part of the Trump thing, is property taxes after you retire, dropping it completely and letting people who are not on Social Security and not retired carry the property load.
I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
If you're still going to use the services that your property tax pay for, you should still have to pay property taxes. EMS, fire, police.
Well, do you ever really own your house if that? I
don't care if you ever. Yeah, I understand.
Take your house for a property tax,
but you're using.
It's not really yours then.
Then you know what? That's fine. Then you have to sign a waiver that says if you order EMS, fire, police, you have to pay for it separately. I'm fine with that, but you have to pay for that separately. And roads.
If you paid 40 years into it and an inflated property tax, you're good after you retire.
Doesn't matter. You're still paying for the service.
But you already paid for that when you were young.
That was what was happening, right? But you were still using those services then. I don't have I think if you
the dudes who are making $190,000 need to come back out of retirement and put some public service in so I don't have to pay property taxes.
Those guys are totally different.
They need to come back.
I agree. The
services are too expensive because we're overpaying everybody.
Well, that's fair too.
Yes.
That goes back to that. That's a totally different thing. It goes back to the budget and how much money they're spending. If we go back to how much money and like auditing them, right? So I think it's a couple different things. It's yes, we're paying property taxes that are too expensive, but obviously they're not spending the funds properly.
Right. And if they would, then
we'd have more money.
Store up that money and then so you didn't have to pay property tax.
Yep.
So if I pay, let's just say you owned a home for 40 years.
Right.
And you double paid for the last 20 so that you didn't have to pay it for the last 20. Right. That would work out mathematically. So you're paying more than the services that you're being provided when you're paying property taxes, and then you're like, I'm good. I paid so much into this.
Yeah.
I covered my share.
But you're still using it when you're living there though. I mean, I know you covered your share.
You way covered your share. Add up what you paid in property taxes. Take the value of services that were rendered and see if you paid a premium or not.
You give me that on a spreadsheet showing
yes,
I need that on a spreadsheet. I see what you're saying. So you're saying because I totaled it all up.
Right. You overpaid for
many years. Therefore, I shouldn't have to pay. I need to see it on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
That's what I need to see.
And then you have to be honest and objective whether or not you got a good yearly.
I need objective, right? Because here's the problem. EMS and all those emergency services, they're going to be at the older people's houses way more because like my neighbors that are like 80, there's like a freaking parade of ambulances over there. Something.
Well, do you feel like if you paid, let's just say you paid your car insurance and you don't get any kind of accidents, you just
that's a good comparison, right? Every year. And
now you have a baddie and you know that you had to take advantage. Right. You're thinking all of the stuff I paid in for that moment, and then they're saying, well, we're only going to pay 50% of this.
Which is what happens.
And you're saying, dude, I overpaid for so many safe years.
Right.
You owe me this one.
I think that's fair. I agree. Okay, that's a good reason and logic. She says, when I'm at retirement age, you'll change your mind. Probably, because then I want to have 100% when I'm at retirement age. I'm not right now, though. So it's okay. 100%. It's the insurance model. Yeah, look, Justin's right on. Basically, it's the insurance model. Pay for it whether you use it or not.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is that's a good point. I want to see that. I guess I want to see if you're going to cancel it for people who are retired, or the people who aren't retired going to have to pay more. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
But you have to get your expenses in line. If the county or whoever you're paying is able to blow through their budgets and not retain some of the overpayments, get it in line.
That's what I'd want to see.
Accumulate some of the taxes that you're collecting already, and then use that to pay for those people later on.
I want to see the numbers. I'm a number. I got to see the numbers. I want to see if it makes sense, because we don't want to do that and then go into the hole even more, or charge the younger people even more that are trying to raise families, that are trying to do all this.
But if you don't think the government's going to figure out how to spend every dollar that comes in there.
100%. And if you do that, the government, the second, if Trump tries to pull that off, not taxing overtime, not taxing tips, not taxing Social Security, not taxing or not making property tax for the freaking retirees, local and state are going to go out of their minds.
Yes, they
because they're going to lose money. And what's it all go back to? Money. Wait, did you just throw in a roundabout thing, Sue? Roundabouts also would lower accidents that do cause. Sue just went back to roundabouts. I also supported sales tax or flat taxes. Unfortunately, it can be disproportionately harder for the poor.
How would it be flat tax? So, because they're not really paying taxes on income because they're poorer, and now they're going to pay a new tax on stuff that they buy.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. They're not paying taxes now.
Like, for the first $20,000, you basically pay no taxes whatsoever.
Right.
So if you're paying zero.
So right now they're paying zero, but however, they're going to pay 25% right out of the gate on
when they buy something. Yeah. So I can see how their tax burden goes up. Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah, that's a good point, Wayne. Wow. Yeah. Now I feel bad. Good job, Dirk. You're going to take away from the poor people, Joe. You freaking Republican.
Well, maybe you give the same proportional credit. How would you do that though? Because your taxes are zero on the federal side. There's got to be a way. You
get like a card
to allow you to buy stuff tax free for the first $20,000 or something like that.
Oh boy, then you're getting, oh my god,
not too complicated.
Everyone's gonna have a card, and now we're talking fraud.
To just not make them poor anymore. So
yeah, right. Wow. Yeah, card that you go to the store and say, hey,
I'm tax free for another 6 months.
That's right. Oh my god, we covered a lot of stuff. This is all over the place today. What? I don't even know what we're talking about. We're just going like this. Oh my god.
Well, it's a roundabout. We've
the conversation today has been a diverging diamond.
Yeah, there's Big Ben. Hey kids, Big Ben.
The diverging diamond talk show. Oh my god, it's unbelievable.
And Isaac, not a fan of the income tax, so yeah, get rid of
not a fan. Wait, or just get rid of the income tax. That's another one I hate too. So you think of income tax, property tax, sales tax, plate registrations. Like they get you all over the freaking place, like everywhere.
Well, let's do what Isaac said. So there was a time in our history where there was no income tax.
No income tax. You just get a check.
And when they wanted to do something, they sold it to the American public to fund through bond, right?
Okay, wait.
So they had to.
You lost me. So no income tax.
No income tax whatsoever. So they wanted to. They had a project that was funded by bond where they would go to the public, and the public would willingly give into that bond. They would vote it, and then they would vote themselves a temporary tax to finance the project that was
insane, right?
So you had to sell it, and you had to make it good and a good value.
Let me guess, everybody started voting no all the time.
Probably. And they're like, hey, they're saying no, so we have to force this on them. So,
right.
But how willingly we accept taxes, where, the founders, we broke away from England over a tiny tea tax, right? And now we have 60% of everything we do is taxed in some way.
Wow.
We're just so tolerant of it. Oh, there's Tea Party.
Yeah, right. Promoting working hard by eliminating income tax. That's true too. Yeah, Indiana has 106. She's still talking about the over a period of a few years. Accidents were way down, and all the residents got a break on their insurance. You can Google that. When's the next Tea Party? That is true too. Boy, see, you guys think I'm real stubborn, but you can convince me into stuff. Like I listen. Like everyone's like, you guys don't listen to anything you do.
That is so important, though.
Yeah.
And so I mean, your mind is proven to be changeable.
Oh, I'm 100% changeable. I'm 100% changeable. Right? Everyone's like, you're super stubborn. You don't listen. No, that's not true. If you can present facts and info for me to digest, I don't listen to opinions. I listen to facts, data, that kind of stuff. Exactly. You can convince me otherwise. Like people, but if you're on Facebook and everyone's like, you're stubborn, you won't listen. No, it's because you're saying I don't like roundabouts because I don't like them. That's not going to convince anybody of anything. So there we go. Dealing with the Mountain County property tax and overpaying the employees. Boy, Sam, we talked about that. Somebody needs to audit Mahoning County. Dude, we said it, buddy. Investigate everyone in the county government who is paid with tax money and charge and convict criminals, starting with Rigetti and Trafford County. Dude, you must have just tuned in because literally, Sam, I said the same exact thing like 20 minutes ago. You'll be able to rewatch the Sam. Seriously, Sam and I went to high school together. You guys are great at this. Thanks, Sue. You're great. You're great at you being.
But even if we had an auditor, like we need some objective third party.
Yes.
That isn't going to be tolerant to when you see a inflated, salary or whatever.
Yes.
They've got to be able to say, time out. That's not market ready.
A third party private business owner that cannot be influenced by the people in power.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like kind of like Musk is doing with Doge right now.
Exactly.
Joe.
Caller, you're here. You want me to do it?
I want you to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to call in about, like you guys were talking about taxes and how the government pays for things. So Abraham Lincoln, in order to pay for the Civil War, he started something called the IRS. I think we're past paying for the Civil War. So it just turned into like this criminal organization.
Abraham Lincoln created the really?
Yeah, just to pay for the Civil War. And so you see what it's turned into. So taxes are out of control. Some of these organizations are out of control. And then President Trump wants to try to rein everything in and basically get rid of the IRS as we know it and call it the external IRS.
Right. Oh, hold on. I just fact checked her. I just fact checked you, and you are 100% correct. 1862, during the Civil War, Lincoln signed the Revenue Act of 1862, which established the Office of Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. Look at that. I learned something new again today.
And then the Civil War ends, and we're like, let's not cancel.
Yeah, let's just keep it.
Let's keep it going and pretend like we have a war.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, really, the people behind a lot of these taxes and the way we're structured and the Federal Reserve, you know, it's the banking families and the same banking families that founded the Federal Reserve. They have hundreds of years of banking in their bloodlines. And so they were around when Lincoln was president. They were all the way around when Andrew Jackson was president. So no one trusts them, but they get in there and they create these things. And then once they create them, you could never get rid of them.
Never.
Until you get someone as bold as President Trump, who sees the problem, identifies it, and is going to change it. So that's what we're seeing unfold right now.
Wow.
All right, caller.
Well,
thank you.
Caller.
Yeah.
And I agree. The pushback Musk is getting, like, it's because he's a third party, and it's because he's calling what he sees, and they hate it. Mm-hmm. Like the bureaucracy hates it. And I'll bet if we sent you into the Mahoning County, gave you access to all the records, we let all the documents, all the computer files, we let Youngstown Computer go in there and audit everything. We let BJ go in there with is he back there right now? Yeah. We let BJ go in there with a notepad and follow you around and write stuff down. I'll bet they would be pushing back like you wouldn't believe.
Destroy me. They would destroy me.
They would destroy Youngstown Computer.
All those salaries are sweet deals, and that would be a threat to their sweet deal. They get a partisan auditor in there, and they're going to allow the sweet, because they probably got the sweet deals too, and they're going to be tolerant of other people's sweet deals.
If we let you, and they would never let you do that, and they would claim exactly what the political parties are claiming. Oh, he's in there with private information. He's in there with this and that. Boy, is that true when you really break it down like that? Because you know that's exactly what they'd say. We're not letting Joe Danyi, a private citizen who owns computer store that knows how to hack our information.
Yep.
We're not letting him in here to see all that stuff.
Yeah,
wow, dude.
The corruption has its own immune system.
Yeah. We're not letting BJ in there with his hat. BJ, that band member with his hat in here, freaking shady guy.
They'd kill us. They
would probably kill you. They would destroy. They would, if they wouldn't kill you, they would destroy your company.
Yeah,
they would destroy Youngstown Computer.
My integrity, everything would be questioned.
Everything which is exactly what they're doing to Elon Musk.
Yep.
Even though 4 years ago, 5 years, Elon Musk was a hero to the left, being an electric car maker.
Yep.
Boy, that is when you really break it down.
Some dirtbag commented, I don't trust Joe. He's up to something. There's probably some kind of Youngstown Computer government contract or something.
Seriously, right. And then they're going to be like, oh, Joe's doing this for his own personal gain. Wow.
The entire county decided to buy computers from Youngstown Computer. It was going to happen anyway.
Right. Yeah. Even though you're the best computer like the best computer company in the area, doesn't matter because now you're doing it just for
That's right.
Wow. When you look at like that, I'll tell you what, you guys are crazy. Yeah. I support what they're doing with Doge. I really do.
Yeah.
And when you really break it down, even with that, and that was not intentional, by the way, when you break down even local, I'm going to tell freaking DeFabio.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if states start doing it because there are some big markets, New York City, San Francisco.
Do you think they'll let them do it? Like third parties at audit?
It would be more possible on the state level. It'd be easier. Federal is a cluster, right? And I don't like if they went into Ohio and started doing the Doge. I think Ohio is pretty well operated, so they're going to find some stuff. but it's not going to be anywhere near the level
like California, New York, these huge, they floor these huge giant states with tons of people, right?
Yeah, but that should be the new theme where it's people against government. Government can't be immune from criticism and somebody looking over their shoulder. They're not the authority.
But government is always going to try and protect itself because of the money, and they're always going to claim privacy. They're always going to claim
national
corruption,
security, every other excuse. The same thing that you would do if somebody from the outside came to your house and started looking through your tax record. Right. You would find every reason not 100%. To let them.
100%. 100%. Yeah, somebody audits the MLO bros. I mean, you can audit it. It doesn't really matter. But same thing. My house, at our branch, we get audited all the time. And I'm immediately defensive whenever they do it. Immediately defensive whenever we get audited.
Because nobody's lily white. There's always a mistake that you made. Right. And you're about to be audited, so you're going to defend yourself.
We get our individual loan files audited by compliance, and literally individual loan files. They start asking us, "Why does this pay stub look like this? Why is this like this?"
Yeah, right.
Not accusing us of fraud, but just kind of hinting. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, this is what the customer get. You know what I mean? And we immediately get defensive.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Wow. Oh my goodness, we're so screwed as a guy. We're so screwed. Are we screwed? I mean, are we screwed or not? What's happening? Like, are we going to be screwed?
Me personally, I think that on the federal level, there are people that will literally kill other people when they try to do this thing. So
because of money,
for sure.
Right.
JFK. I mean, if you look through those files and you're convinced that he was pushing on the status quo and they took him out, I mean, it's not unlikely that they try to take out anybody else who tries to change things. So you have change really unlikely to happen, and staying the same really likely to happen, and we can't do the stay the same thing.
Right. And the people, it's going to be interesting to see the people who are trying to change what's going on, what happens to them.
Yes.
You already have like Musk. What's funny is they're trying to destroy Musk now, like stocks dropping. They're cheering as like his stock drops, which is hysterical that the left is cheering that an electric car company is getting destroyed. Like the best electrical car company is getting destroyed.
Yep.
You know, because it's an electric car company. It's the Green Deal. You know what I mean? It should be
praying to them.
Right. And they're destroying it because of political reasons. It's crazy.
Did you listen to that Musk interview with Rogan?
A little bit of it. I didn't have a chance to check the whole
Probably
thing
the most consequential part of that was when they're looking through corruption, the stuff that you've heard about that they've released about what's corruptly going on. There's another level to this that he will not even talk about or bring to light because he knows 100% they will kill him.
Really?
He said that on Rogan. So if you think this part's bad than what we've already seen, there's a whole level.
Is it eventually going to come, you think?
No, I wouldn't. If you knew for a fact that they were going to kill you if you did or said anything about it.
Who's that?
They.
The government?
Part of the group that he won't name or
do you think who do you think it is?
Man, I don't know. It's got to be those big Rothschilds, Koch brothers, you know,
those guys will kill them. Like legalized mobsters kind of things.
100%.
Wow. There must be ways, but Sam says there must be ways for the voting public to hold the government accountable. The waste and fraud, a lie must be found, proves that. What do you think when they say, so I keep hearing people say the waste and fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear the other side say there is no waste and fraud. What waste and fraud? What's true? Is there waste and fraud or not?
Mathematically, it's certain. Okay. Mathematically, when you have any system, like if you died and I kept sending your check,
there's going to be
you, that's waste, right? So you know, in a big system like that, you're going to have waste, absolute waste and fraud. And so, like when you're taking and saying the effort to clean that up costs $10, to tolerate it costs us $5. So we're going to allow the waste to happen because it costs more to fix it than it does to clean it up. So and it's messy and whatever. So you just accumulate that over the years, and it might be so hemorrhaging of waste and fraud. Not some of it's just going to be negligence.
Right.
Some of it's going to be on purpose, but you add those two things together and it's going to be a big number.
So you do think there is waste and fraud? 100%.
100%.
Even though people are saying there's no waste and fraud. And then like I'll read on the news or I'll see on the news, Doge removed this amount.
When anyone's about talking about politics, when they arrive at an absolute, it's a lie.
Really?
So if you say there's no voter fraud, that's an absolute, and you're like, how are you doing that?
Right.
I can see a couple things have possibility, and if you're like, we mitigate voter fraud, I'll believe that.
Right.
But if you're like, there is no voter fraud, I'm not buying it.
Right. If I say there is absolutely no, this isn't happening.
100%. So
especially something as big as the government.
Yeah. So global warming, right? Settled science, red flag. That's an absolute. And now you're not letting into the position that what if I'm wrong? And I have enough truth in me to say that if I'm a little bit wrong, I want my mind changed. So we're doing the right thing.
Right. The earth is flat.
The earth is flat.
Absolute. Probably. The earth is round. Opposite. So that means the earth is kind of not round. No, I don't know.
It's more of a
so it's not absolute.
It's not.
I mean, I see what you're saying though. It's just so confusing. And again, this is just me reading and listening. It's just so confusing. And I see why the public's so confused. You have one side saying this, you have one side saying this. This side says we're finding waste and fraud all the time. Oh my gosh, there's so much. There's no waste and fraud. It's like total opposites.
Yep.
And it's
somebody's got to be wrong, right?
Somebody's got to be wrong. So it's got to be just landing right in the middle where there's a little bit of both, and that's it.
But what is more believable? Like if a reasonable person says it looks at your argument why something is absolutely not happening, right? Is that believable?
Versus, yeah, that's true.
Versus, and what interest? Okay, so if I'm cleaning up waste and fraud, right?
Right.
How would that benefit me to clean up waste and fraud?
Versus
not touching it, right? And leaving it alone. The benefit is, well, maybe I'm getting some of that little moolah that's being wasted and frauded.
We talked on this the last time too. This was my point was, so Elon Musk is going through and the left is saying there is no waste and fraud. Okay, good.
So he shouldn't find anything.
She shouldn't find anything, but let him keep looking. What's the harm in him looking?
What if he gets through there
and there's no way to ride?
No, dude, it's clean bill of health.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is, though, the left is saying he's saying waste and fraud is things that the left want to happen.
Yes.
Right. Like he's eliminating things like, well, you know, they list all this crazy stuff that the money's paying for in like different countries.
And letting you decide whether or not you think what they spend it on should be considered waste and fraud. They're absolutely not considering those things waste and fraud. They're saying
that's the difference, and that's a difference opinion then of what that was.
But that's why I like the transparency part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Patricia just got, you said had tons of unnecessary spending could kind of be waste, isn't fraud. But waste could be a difference of opinion then, right? Because my definition of waste isn't the same as some person.
What would you as a taxpayer consider? What would you consider fraud?
Fraud would be doing something illegally with money or something.
All right, I'm not even going to say it's illegally. I mean, that's a high standard, but I'm not going to say legally.
Fraud
I'm going to say, okay, so let's break it down to you and I. I'm like,
fraud to me, how about this? I'm going to break it down as a banker.
Okay.
Fraud to me is somebody giving me fake pay stubs that say they make so much money and they don't make that much money.
Absolutely fraud.
That's fraud.
Here's a lesser version of it. I say, I need $100 to pay my rent, Luke.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh, I'll give you $100. And I take 150 of it and pay my rent. And 50, I go buy whiskey. That would be fraud.
Because you told me one thing, you do another thing with it.
Exactly.
Fraud.
Not illegal, right? But what I told you I was going to do with it was not the case.
Yeah, fraud.
So if I created an organization that funds it, I collect $1 billion from the taxpayer, and my bill is to protect dogs from being kicked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When you give money to me,
I give you $100,000. Don't let my dog get kicked.
If I take that money and I pay someone a salary of $200 million,
yes,
and then you would say, well, I'm running the organization. Would that be fraud?
Yeah, I gave you the money. Oh boy, that's close. Right. So I gave you the money. Take care of my dogs. Don't let them get kicked. But you have to pay a person to do it.
$200 million.
$200 million.
And then you could say, well, you could have gotten a person to run that organization for much cheaper than $200 million. So there might be a little bit of what would have been necessary to hire a CEO.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, I would say that would be fraud because I didn't pay. If you'd have put, I want to pay someone an exorbitant amount of money to not kick dogs, and that's what I voted for, and then you did it, now it wouldn't be fraud anymore because you told me what you were going to do with it.
We're talking where the money's going could be considered fraud.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
If you trick the taxpayer into saying yes through legislation and then you spend it to reward somebody over here.
That makes sense. That would be fraud. Okay. I'm convinced.
Right.
There you go. Thank you.
Sam says an example of waste and fraud would be a bill from the federal government sending money to a nonprofit, and then that same nonprofit writes a check to donate money to a political campaign. Same thing. Same
fraud.
Definition. Hits my
fraud.
standard.
Fraud. Wow. Do you guys think that not itemizing what Musk is finding, but just calling out numbers scares people? Our church lists 2 times a year what they use our money for. I think a lot of people get shell-shocked by them calling out numbers and not putting it out there for all to read. I think he needs to slow down, prove where he found fraud, and publish it. What do you think? I think that's 100% fair. Does that website doesn't itemize what he finds, right?
On their end, it does. What they publicly throw out there are the big numbers.
Big numbers.
But they're finding individual things as they're going through.
Is it public knowledge of what
It's a good question. I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks. Let me just look at it.
Yeah, that would be a good question too. What would we do if we had real jobs and we had to go to work today and not do this all day?
Oh, the world would be the worst place.
I was just thinking.
The leaderboard, let's just go into Department of Education.
We're looking right now. You should be able to. You should show this while you're doing this, by the way.
I know.
Okay, hold on. We're looking. Joe is screening through.
They're just
big numbers. No click downs. Department of Health and Human Services. Is that one?
Oh, they itemize.
Itemize it. What Doge
website.
Doge.gov payments.
Yeah. This is down to the $1,000.
Wow.
So provide scholarship leaders from Timor-Leste for academic studies at U.S. universities.
What is this stuff? So are they eliminated? This is what they found. They haven't been eliminated yet.
They're recommend. Some of the contracts have already been eliminated.
Trump eliminated.
Doge takes the information. They hand it over to whomever can kill from the executive branch.
Right.
And then they end the contract or stop the payments.
Okay. So let's read one of these. Department of State, American Councils for International Education provides scholarships to leaders from Timor-Leste for academic study at U.S. universities. 17,900. Dude, this is down to like thousands of dollars. Okay, you got your breakdown. Doge.gov. What in the look at all this stuff? What else do you want? But you know what they're going to say? They could just make this up. Right? That's going to be the next argument is how do we know? We want to see this on paper.
Well,
right?
all they have to do is take one. If you criticize and say that's the case, invite them in, show them where you found it, show them where you published it. And if they match up, then you're not making shit up. That'd be a really easy one to ferret out.
Yeah, but that's how they're going to say it. They're going to say this is all fake, right? This is all just some AI making stuff up. It was Doge.com. No, Doge.gov. Doge.gov. Don't go to work. This is great. I don't really work, to be fair. I mean, I was golfing yesterday. I mean, I kind of work. I work from my phone. That's why I check my phone every now and then. Great. I stand corrected. Tell us where to find it. Yeah. Doge.gov. That's crazy. I'm going to go mess with that today when I go home.
And honestly, what she was saying about does the big numbers scare you? And I think that's the intention where as they're doing it, if they're not showing you where the stuff is coming from, what if they just went after one, case of fraud, like one department. But when we get to like Department of Defense, all right, what if he gets to his own companies and SpaceX and looks at that one and says, well, this one was a boneheaded one. I'm going to strike out my own one. That would be a case for his own integrity,
right?
Holding himself to the same standard.
I wonder, has he done any of that? Probably not.
What?
Struck out any space.
I don't think they got to that department.
That'd be interesting to see if he does. Could you imagine?
Yep.
I would do it just to do it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, just do it, just to shut everybody up.
Right.
Right. I think that's all people are asking. Those who read it are free to question. Yeah, I agree, but they're going to question that stuff. They're going to say, oh, some AI is making all that up. Yeah.
If it were Biden and if he sent a bunch of people in there, don't you think Republicans
100%
would want to know exactly what they're doing and what they're cutting?
If this was opposite, it would be totally reversed.
Yep, exactly.
Let's say Biden sent in, who's a left lead, like Bezos, right? Is he left leaning? I don't know. Send in Bezos to do all this. The Republicans would be going freaking crazy.
Absolutely.
Ape shit crazy. Oh, 10,000. Shit. I said this shit. Oh, there it is again. Shit. Check. That's like 40,000. They'd be going freaking bonkers.
Yep.
They'd be screaming fraud. They'd be screaming stealing our stuff. Right. They'd be the exact opposite.
Yep.
And if you don't think that, you're blind. I mean, there is no way. So I don't know. I gotta go. I do have to go to work at some point, dude. It's 1:04. How did we talk for an hour and 40 minutes,
dude? Holy
crap!
We just freaking
dude, it's crazy. Go ahead, let's finish this baby up. I got stuff to do today. I don't.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody.
Crap.
And thank you for contributing to those who called and texted. I'll be back tomorrow.
What are you doing with?
I don't know. I haven't even figured out yet. I usually show up and figure out what I'm going to talk about the day.
Just you?
Just me.
Tomorrow, just talk.
Just talk.
Wow. I'm gonna get to Fabio on.
Okay. Bring him.
County.
And what we were talking about a couple weeks ago is bringing some mayors into town and talking about what they have in mind, what they're doing to develop their city. We can talk about the ones that has dispensaries and how the law changes or whatever might affect them. So that'll be good.
I want to talk to DeFabio about freaking waste in Mahoning County because those salaries are freaking bonkers.
And he'll be honest. He's a straight shooter.
He's a straight shooter.
Yep.
I mean, that is freaking bonkers.
Yep.
So, okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook.